Hi there, it's Adam Franklin and welcome to this YouTube video. Now, it is the week of content marketing. The Content Marketing World Conference is coming to Sydney, and I've just listened to a fantastic podcast between Timbo Reid from Small Business Big Marketing, Australia's #1 marketing podcast, and his interview with Joe Pulizzi, the founder of the Content Marketing Institute. Now, I really enjoyed it. I was nodding my head in approval the whole way through. So what I really wanted to do was distill my three key take-homes from the podcast and distill it down into a couple of minutes. I mean, you can certainly listen to the full podcast, and I'll include that in the blog notes. But the three key take-homes for me is first the basis of content marketing, and the fact that you've got to give information away. It's got to be valuable information in order to attract people into your business, rather than doing the traditional outbound method, which is just bombarding people with adverts. Now, one of the things that was uncovered for me with this interview is the fact that, yes, you do need to be giving information away, and a lot of people have this objection to that, because what if I give too much information away, and how much is too much information? Now, what I got reinforced with this podcast is that the more information you give away, the better. Because if you don't, well, one, your competitors will, and then they're going to get all the credit for it. And secondly, if you do give away a lot of this information, then people are against that sometimes, because they think, well, what if somebody comes along and actually applies this information and does it themselves? Well, that's great, because they're the do-it-yourself types, and they're a completely different type of client to the people that are actually going to be paying you money to do it for them. So you should be giving information away. If you don't, your competitors will, and if you do, not only are you helping the DIY types, which is great, but you're also proving your expertise to the people who are more inclined to outsource it and get you to do it for them. Now, the second point that was made in this interview is the fact that content marketing is all about thinking like a publisher, rather than thinking like an advertiser. So if you think of your favourite magazine, or your favourite newspaper, or your favourite TV show, it's all about publishing stories that are interesting and that the user or the viewer or the reader is actually interested in. Whereas you compare that to the advertising mentality, is that they're just really slotting adverts or interruptions in between the parts that you're actually there to read or listen or watch. So if you, rather than thinking like an advertiser and renting space in other people's shows, create your own show. Create information that is more like the leading trade publication in your industry that people actually want to read. And if you go about creating information like that on your blog, on your YouTube channel, sharing slides, you name it, there's a whole heap of different ways to be sharing this information. But if you go in with the mindset of a publisher, then that is the way to be doing content marketing really well. And the third and final tip that I got from this podcast is the fact that if you want fast results, forget about content marketing. If you want fast results, go ahead and buy ads, because content marketing is more like a marathon than a sprint. It takes time, and you've got to build up the content and build up the relationships with the people who subscribe to your content. And whilst it won't get you fast results, in the long run, it's the only way to go, because every time you buy ads or run ads, not only are you interrupting people and you're renting space on somebody else's platform, it gets more and more expensive. And every time you want attention, you're going to have to fork out money to buy it in the form of advertising. Whereas if you're building up your platform and your content marketing system, then if you're publishing blog posts and YouTube videos, then you don't have to fork out money each and every time you want attention, because you've earned it and you've built it up over time. So there are three take-home messages from the podcast with Timbo Reid and Joe Pulizzi. So that is, give information away that's valuable. If you think you're giving away too much, you've probably got the amount right, because it's actually going to be valuable to the person receiving it. Secondly, think like a publisher. Emulate the sort of magazines and TV shows that you really like to watch. And thirdly, if you want fast results, you've got to buy ads. Content marketing is a long-term game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So that's a wrap. I'm Adam Franklin. On Twitter, it's @Franklin_Adam. And I'll look forward to speaking with you again soon.